The 12 most shocking archaeological discoveries recently revealed that have left scientists stunned. The first decade of the 21st century has seen remarkable scientific achievements, many of which have changed or shaken our understanding of various scientific fields. These discoveries could include mysterious creatures dwelling in the depths of the sea for thousands of years, the grand structures of ancient civilizations, or enigmatic mass graves. All of them carry a story that is difficult to solve. Join us as we explore the 12 most mysterious and terrifying discoveries recently, right here in today's video. The Dragon Man, the closest relative to humans. About 150,000 years ago, a large human species called Homo longi, or Dragon Man, roamed the misty forests of northern China. Despite their bulky size, this ancient human species was recently identified as a relative of Homo sapiens. Named after the Heilongjiang River in Harbin, China, Dragon Man first appeared in archaeological records in 1933 when construction workers discovered a nearly intact skull while building a bridge. However, it wasn't until 2021 that researchers realized the skull belonged to a previously unknown species. Dating back at least 146,000 years, the owner of the skull lived in East Asia at a time when modern humans interacted with other close relatives, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. With its massive size and distinct facial features, such as square eye sockets, flat and low cheekbones, and enormous teeth, Homo longi initially appeared to be a distant relative of the three contemporary human species. However, researchers believe that in reality, Dragon Man is more closely related to modern humans than to Neanderthals. To reconstruct the appearance of the ancient H. longi, Brazilian graphic artist Cicero Moraes created a digital model of the skull using data and images provided by the authors of the 2021 study. The complete skull of another early human species, Homo erectus, was then integrated into the model to fill in gaps in the teeth and other missing areas of the H. longi skull. Next, Moraes added soft tissue markers based on CT scans of modern humans and chimpanzees, then adjusted them to fit the features of the H. longi skull. The result was a detailed gray digital bust, relying on objective data and reliable modeling techniques. Additionally, Moraes added hair and skin color to the model to make Dragon Man's appearance more lifelike. Based on the final model, Moraes calculated that H. longi had a head circumference of 25.6 inches. This measurement gives Dragon Man the largest head of any human species, comparable to that of gorillas and lions. According to experts who analyzed the skull 2 years ago, the massive size of Dragon Man might have been an adaptation to the freezing temperatures of Harbin, which often drop to 3.2 degrees in the winter. Viking boat grave. In 2019, Swedish archaeologists discovered human remains beneath a ship buried in Gamla Uppsala, located 46 miles north of Stockholm. This discovery revealed the unique burial customs of the Vikings. Initially, archaeologists thought it was just an ordinary ship, but they were surprised to find human remains inside. One of the two ships found in the tomb was nearly intact, containing the remains of a man along with a horse and a dog. In this burial method, the ship was used as a coffin, dating from 550 to 1050 AD. The tomb also contained personal items such as a sword, spear, shield, and an intricately decorated comb. This indicates that the individual buried in the tomb held a high social status, as ships were considered items reserved for the privileged few in Viking society. Swedish archaeologist Anton Seiler revealed that this is a unique discovery in the past half-century, helping archaeologists gain further insight into Viking burial customs. To date, around 10 ships have been discovered that were used for Viking burial purposes. The term Viking refers to explorers, traders, warriors, and pirates from the northern European peninsula during the late Stone Age. Vikings are often mentioned as warrior seafarers or pirates, but they were also skilled farmers and traders, with some of their scientific inventions still holding value today. Intact Nazi airplane found on the seafloor. A Nazi airplane recently discovered on the seafloor off the coast of Rhodes, Greece, is in remarkable condition, surprising experts. According to the Daily Mail, the Ju-52, found on the seabed of the Aegean Sea, was the main transport aircraft of Nazi Germany. It is unclear what the plane was doing in the area, but Nazi Germany had controlled roads since 1943. The Ju-52 may have been used to transport troops or military equipment. It is also unclear why the Nazi airliner sank or how many people were aboard at the time. The wreckage was discovered at a depth of 243 feet by a professional diver using GPS equipment. The diver also filmed the discovery as evidence. The plane was found in relatively good condition, with only the engine at the front and the cockpit glass missing. Experts are amazed that the plane is nearly fully intact after decades. The machine guns are still in place, and the control panel still displays the last recorded readings. It remains unclear whether the plane carried treasure or any other items, but experts and archaeologists are still searching and hope to uncover more about this plane in the near future. City buried in the desert. In November 1885, Guillermo Farini, the first white explorer to walk across the Kalahari Desert, announced the discovery of a mysterious city in the desert. Farini sent a report of this discovery to the Berlin Geographic Society and the Royal Geographical Society of the United Kingdom in 1886. He even published a book where he described his findings in detail. In the book, he mentioned strange and mysterious rocks that he believed were the remains of an ancient city. He speculated that the city was built in a crescent shape, with some parts buried in sand and others still visible. Although Farini could not provide any concrete evidence, he insisted that the city was thousands of years old. Since then, Farini's discovery has turned into a legend about an ancient city buried in the heart of the Kalahari Desert. Farini sent his report to the Berlin Geographic Society, and even the Khoi people living in the area confirmed that there was once an ancient city in the region. Furthermore, historian Gustav Prelude also stated that the Khoi natives were willing to guide him to the ruins in the northern Kalahari and another site further away, where precious stones had been discovered. Many expeditions were carried out to search for traces of this mysterious city and to prove that Farini's story was true. However, after many years of unsuccessful searching, the city in the desert has almost become a legend. Among these, Professor A.J. Clement, a leading archaeologist, examined the information that Farini published and concluded that Farini had never actually crossed the Kalahari Desert. He had only traveled along the border areas and may have seen natural rocks, including dolerite stones, which when eroded appeared to be man-made. Then, in 2016, another expedition was conducted in the Kalahari Desert. Walls and rocks that matched Farini's original description were found. However, it is still unclear whether these structures were created by humans. To this day, the city buried in the desert remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Hybrid creature between two monsters. In 2019, a team of scientists from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute discovered a massive tusk while exploring a 9,840 feet underwater mountain. While giant prehistoric monster fossils had been found beneath the sea before, finding something like this hiding in the deep ocean was quite perplexing. Dr. Daniel Fisher from the University of Michigan, a member of the research team, said the mammoth could have lived between 200,000 and 2.7 million years ago. However, the results of the examination only indicated a vague age of at least 100,000 years. This discovery is considered a sign that this deep-sea area could still harbor many other interesting fossilized creatures. The tusk was just a short broken segment, but it was still over 3 feet long. The excavation process took several months and was done using an unmanned vehicle with a robotic arm. The most remarkable part of the discovery was that, thanks to being preserved by the salty ocean water in a quiet, extremely cold deep-sea environment around 39 degrees, the tusk provided paleontologists with an excellent DNA sample. It turned out to be a Columbian mammoth, a hybrid between the famous woolly mammoth and another mysterious mammoth species that had never been known before. Therefore, any Columbian mammoth specimen sparks curiosity, as it could provide additional data about the second, ghost species that created it. The 90-million-year-old monster dragon relative of snakes. A completely new sea monster species has just been discovered in Mexico, with a body length of up to 17 feet, a crocodile-like snout, and an incredibly fearsome predator. According to research led by paleontologist Herto Rivera Silva from the Desert Museum, Mexico, the new species has been named Jaguarosaurus regiomontanus, and it belongs to the mosasaur family. Mosasaurs were large, highly aggressive marine reptiles that lived alongside dinosaurs. Many mosasaur species were apex predators in the waters they inhabited, and this newly discovered one was likely no different. The creature, which was unearthed as a fossil in a multi-layered limestone formation in the Agua Nueva Formation of Mexico, is believed to be around 90 million years old, placing it in the Cretaceous period. This famous rock formation has previously yielded many exquisitely preserved fish and marine reptiles, as it was formed in a shelf environment with low oxygen levels. Among these, Jaguarosaurus regiomontanus is one of the largest, most complete, and most terrifying specimens. According to Sci News, analysis revealed that it was about 17 feet long when it was alive, making it one of the largest known mosasaurs from the early period. Like other mosasaurs discovered around the world, this species was a highly dangerous predator and much larger than other marine creatures of its time. In total, 40 mosasaur species have been recorded, with the largest specimen measuring up to 39 feet long. The closest modern relative of the mosasaur is the snake. The characteristics of this species suggest it belongs to a genus of mosasaurs called Plioplate carpus, and it was a large specimen compared to other species in the same genus. A graphic rendering of the creature shows a dragon-like body with fin-like structures similar to those of other marine reptiles of its time, a crocodile-like snout, and a fearsome snake-like tongue. According to the authors, this discovery is significant because it emerged after a mass extinction event during the Cretaceous period. Unfortunately, like all other dinosaurs, pterosaurs, ichthyosaurs, and mosasaurs, it went extinct after the massive Chicxulub asteroid impact 66 million years ago. The mysterious bird footprints challenge scientific understanding. Recently, a research team from the University of Cape Town discovered footprints in 210-million-year-old fossils in Africa that resemble those of birds. What's interesting is that birds' ancestors didn't appear until 150 million years ago, 60 million years after these fossils were formed. The fossils, collected from 4 separate sites in the region, contained 2 distinct types of footprints. The first type features large feet with long toes, and the toes are positioned closer together. According to the researchers, these resemble the fossilized footprints of Anemoepus, a species left by a type of dinosaur. The second type consists of smaller footprints, about half the size of the first type, with narrower toes. This form closely resembles the footprints of modern birds. With current scientific understanding, the mystery of which ancient animal left these traces remains unsolved. The researchers hypothesize that these might be the footprints of a 3-toed dinosaur. There's a strong possibility that these creatures could later become ancestors of today's birds and crocodiles, as they belong to the same branch of the evolutionary tree. It's also possible that dinosaurs started exhibiting bird-like features much earlier than previously thought. Scientists believe that the results from this fossil hunt could provide us with an exciting glimpse into the life of animals hundreds of millions of years ago, as well as offer new insights into the evolution of birds from that time onward. Ötzi the Iceman. On September 19, 1991, while crossing the Ötztal Alps, 2 German mountaineers discovered a perfectly preserved mummy in the ice known as Ötzi. A controversial examination of the mummy was conducted, and the location was found to be the border between Austria and Italy. Scientists have proposed various theories regarding the mummy's age, the time of death, cause of death, and health condition. Archaeologists determined that this was a man who stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighed around 110 pounds, and died between the ages of 30 and 45. However, the most important question remains: what was this man doing in the snow-covered peaks of the Alps? When Ötzi was discovered, his body was remarkably well preserved, including his clothing and tools. This led to a heated debate among scientists about Ötzi's background. Some believe that Ötzi carried hunting tools, such as a bow, arrows, and an axe. So he must have been an ordinary shepherd who possibly died in an early winter storm while hunting. Over 20 years since his discovery, the cause of his death remains uncertain, whether he was killed, sacrificed, or succumbed to a snowstorm. The oldest wine cellar in the world. In 2013, during an excavation at a Canaanite palace in Israel, scientists discovered 40 large jars of wine in a sealed room located on the western side of the central courtyard. The results of organic residue analysis using mass spectrometry showed that all the jars contained chemical compounds of wine. The team of experts also discovered subtle differences in the composition and additives found in the jars, such as honey, tree resin, cedar oil, juniper, and possibly including mint, sugarcane, and cinnamon. According to Science Daily, the production, distribution, and consumption of wine played an important role in the lives of people living in the Mediterranean and Near Eastern regions during the Bronze Age, approximately 1900 to 1600 BCE. However, until now, there has been little archaeological evidence of wine from this period. The research team suggests that the discovery of these additives indicates that humans had a sophisticated understanding of plants and the necessary skills to produce a complex, flavorful beverage that could be preserved. This discovery may also help further our understanding of ancient viticulture and the prosperous economy of the Canaanites. The 2,500-year-old precious sword of King Goujian of Yue. More than 50 years ago, a precious sword was discovered in a tomb in China. Although it is 2,500 years old, the sword shows no signs of rust. The sword even caused a bleeding cut on an archaeologist's finger when he touched the blade, which seemed unaffected by time. In addition to this strange characteristic, the sword's crafting technique is also astonishing. Considered a national treasure of China today, the significance of this sword to the Chinese people is comparable to the sword Excalibur of King Arthur in the West. The sword is 22 inches long and was discovered in Jiangling, Hubei in 1965. On one side of the sword, 8 characters near the hilt are engraved, meaning King Goujian of Yue personally forged this sword, suggesting it originally belonged to King Goujian of Yue. The story of King Goujian of Yue and King Fuchai of Wu battling for power became famous throughout China, adding to the intrigue surrounding the sword. Scientists have analyzed the materials used to forge this sword, which include copper, iron, lead, tin, and sulfur, with copper being the most prevalent. In fact, the sword was crafted so meticulously that each part of it is made from a different material composition. In addition to its historical value, many scholars have wondered how the sword managed to avoid rusting in the humid environment for over 2,000 years, and how the intricate decorative patterns were carved into the blade. This clearly demonstrates that the ancients had reached an advanced level of metallurgy, allowing them to incorporate rust-resistant alloys into the blade, which helped it remain intact for thousands of years. 18,000-year-old dog puppy mummy. At first glance, many people might think this dog is simply lying down to sleep, waiting for its vaccination. However, the truth is that this dog has been asleep for a full 18,000 years, and it is likely the oldest dog ever discovered in history. The remains of this dog were found by researchers near Yakutsk in northeastern Siberia in the summer of 2018. What is remarkable is that almost all parts of the dog, its shape, fur, teeth, and internal organs, are preserved in excellent condition. This has allowed scientists to determine that the dog was just 2 months old and lived around 18,000 years ago. However, they have not yet concluded whether this specimen is a dog or a wolf. If it is indeed a dog, it could be the oldest dog ever found. Professor Dahlen, a geneticist, remarked that the remains were astonishingly well preserved, and over such a long period, many changes could have occurred to the ancestors of both dogs and wolves. According to Arnold Sergei Fedorov, the photographer who took valuable pictures of the dog, it is truly amazing to see, touch, and feel the history of the earth. Imagine, this puppy has been lying in the ground in the same position, with the same conditions, for 18,000 years without being disturbed. It is fascinating and difficult to explain. The footprints of gods in the Namib Desert. The Namib Desert is the largest desert in Namibia, a country in Africa. In this desert, there are strange circles evenly distributed across the dry grasslands. Then, in 2014, it was discovered that similar circles were found near the mining town of Newman in Western Australia. However, the mysterious circles in Namibia remain the most famous and intriguing to scientists who have been studying them since the 1970s. Researchers have attempted to explain why these barren circles have existed for decades. Despite scientific advancements since the 1970s, scientists still struggle to understand this mysterious natural phenomenon. Additionally, locals believe in various legends about dancing fairies, creating the circles to prevent plant growth, or UFOs landing in the desert at night, among many other plausible explanations for why these strange circles exist. Some scientists believe that the circles are related to termites, which build their nests under these circles and interact with the surrounding vegetation. The hypothesis suggests that large termite colonies invade each other, and when colonies of similar sizes meet, they cannot destroy one another. Therefore, they create buffer zones without termites between them. Another reasonable hypothesis suggests that the circles are the result of plant competition for the scarce water that falls annually in the Namib Desert. Plants provide shade, maintain water, but hinder the growth of other plants. As a result, these plants grow long roots that form a circle, drawing water from a central source underground. Some people also believe that these circles are somehow connected to the toxic euphorbia bushes growing in Namib. Some remnants of these plants have been found in the circles, but the truth is, no one knows whether any of these hypotheses are correct or whether the answer is a combination of them. So, we have explored 12 shocking archaeological discoveries, secrets that have been hidden for thousands of years. Each discovery opens up a new world, full of surprises and mysteries, leaving even the most brilliant scientists pondering. This proves that, despite many advancements in historical and archaeological research, big questions still remain unanswered. Let's look forward to the next discoveries, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any exciting updates. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.